All right.
I was laughing at myself.
I always laugh at myself, but you know who I won't laugh at? You, the people at home, because you're here to watch our show. Yay! We want to welcome you to Basements and Besties, the Dark Lanterns of Sharn. My name is William Tramp, also known as This FNGM. And before we get started here, I have a question for you, the audience. Have you hit that subscribe button yet? We'd really like it if you did. You guys want to beg? Please! Okay, we're not going to beg anymore.
You do kind of owe us at this point.
Jesus Christ, Colin!
Also, he's got book talk voice. Listen to it.
Okay, so moving on from shameless shilling of ourselves. So I was going to do the. Never mind. We're not doing the whole sponsor thing. We don't have a sponsor. That's okay.
But you could sponsor.
We are here playing a A5E level up actual play game. We're really excited to have you join us tonight. We want to go ahead and introduce ourselves through our characters. So let's go ahead and get started on that by, what do we do? Oh, I have a question. I asked you guys a question. Here's the question. The last session, you guys went through a chase scene throughout the city, or at least portions of the city of Sharn. Sky-high towers rising up over the, over Breland, right? And, in the chase, you saw something that caught your eye. Maybe you want to go back to it later. Maybe you regret that you didn't have the time to stop then and see it. I want to know, what did your character see that caught their attention? We're going to go ahead and start off with Sarah.
So as she was running through the town.
As she? Who's she?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I am Sarah Tramp and I am playing Deidre. Damn it! I am playing Deidre, a human rogue who is trying to find her place in a world without war. As I was running through the city, trying to say, when I ran through that garden party, I swore I saw Darren Damani with some other
Darren
Madani with some other girl.
You did. You did. It was actually I'm going to tell you a little bit about this girl. Okay. She was probably about yours and his age. How old are you again?
32.
About 32. Yeah, probably about your age. Maybe a little younger. She had bright kind of pinkish purple hair.
Pinkish purple?
Nice almond-shaped eyes. Okay. And very, very attractive woman. What were they doing?
They were actually sitting at the garden party, and it was more of like that slow-mo of like, whoa, and then she had to keep going.
That's probably why she fell down the freaking waterfall.
Yeah, exactly.
You motherfucker!
And then she wants to go back and figure out who the hell this chick is, and what's going on with the Madani boy.
What is that? Oh, you're no longer a man. What is that boy doing? What is that boy doing? The young woman dyed purplish pinkish hair. She is a tall. You remember her being kind of taller than average too, probably taller than you a bit. And
more attractive than me, taller than me. What the fuck's going on?
There's a lot going on there. Okay. All right, wonderful. Roll for your coin real quick.
I have 3.
Oh, wonderful. You get to keep that coin.
Love
so
coins.
I get 2. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move from Deirdre. We're gonna go to Cassie. Cassie, on your trip to the city, what did Adelaide see that caught her eye?
Hi, I'm Cassie. I play Adelaide Oleander, a human bard whose own story has stepped outside her dragon-marked house. I think when running through the different districts in Redstone, which is a district primarily of shops, like brick-and-mortar shops, remembering how Daddy talked about how the kids, making sure that we get the kids into, activities and events. Passed by a shop called Spiro's Sports, Spells, and Sorcery.
Hold on. Spiro's.
Yes.
Spiro's.
Wait.
Sports, Spells, and Sorcery.
What? Oh, he's a wizard. He's absolutely a wizard.
Yeah.
He distinguished spells and sorcery.
Or
Spiros,
sports. Oh, I meant swords. But
No, I
sports
like
is
this way
better.
better.
Sports, spells, and
Spells
sorcery. Spells and sorcery. Okay. In the middle class shop district. So you want to take the kids back there? What were they advertising that made you think of the kids?
I think they probably had an array of. I think for sports there were some like. I think maybe there were like roller skates, but also swords were in my mind. But also like.
It's like fencing.
Yeah. Sprat uses a toy sword.
True.
We should get her a real one.
We should get her lessons like Daddy said.
I love this.
Yeah, I love that.
Spiros, sports, spells, and sorcery.
Love it.
Oh, that's so amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's my new favorite shop.
Okay, we're going to move on from Adelaide. We're going to head over to RJ. RJ, what did you see while running through town that caught your eye?
So, as he was mingling through the people and kind of like hiding through the people, this like really upset couple pulled off of the group he was in at one point. Actually went into the shop that was called Deep Listening, and on the poster outside it said healing your darkest fears, and not having nightmares or having a lot of fears because of being created, but now trying to understand humanity. Like, he's so interested in this idea of in mental turmoil and inside fears and hurt, and like he so wants to know what goes on in that shop.
Okay. I first off, I love this. Second,
It's in. It was,
hold on. I know exactly what district it's
Okay.
in. When you were running through Redstone, but you're keeping the high ground a lot of the time, if I'm not mistaken. You happen to see Redstone butts up against a apartment district called Overlook.
Okay.
Okay. You actually saw this in, if you don't mind my saying, in Overlook.
Okay.
In the Overlook. So yeah, and that is deep listening, right? Healing
Yes.
your darkest fears. You saw that in Overlook. All right, I love that. Thank you for that, Dennis. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move from RJ to Connor. Sit there, Colin.
Hello there.
What?
My name's Connor. I play Colton, a human warlock that made a deal with death but didn't read the fine terms. So as we were running along, I'm going to guess probably through the Market Bazaar area, something kind of silly but of his interest kind of caught his eye. Will, what would you describe as, like, think of, like, the most Texas gun store you can think of? Because we talked about how this is kind of
Would be a wand store.
A wand store,
because there are
yes.
not guns in everyone.
That's
There are
what,
wands. Yeah.
that's like the imagery is what I'm going
Yeah.
for.
The
So,
most Brailish
The most
wand
brainless
store.
gun store. It's just called Jebs.
That's what Jebs.
Jebs.
They've got
They have a wand range.
You got a wand range
Yep.
out back.
Yep.
Smoke coming from
It's a Brailish Longhorn. Is their symbol just a big old steer head? I love this.
Just Jebs.
Everybody walks out of there wearing the trademark the trademark hat.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, the
Don't poke the bear.
it's nothing but a sea of flannel all throughout Jebs.
It's awful.
And that's
It's
extremely cool, Texas listeners.
It is cool.
awful. Yeah. So that is just as he was like running through the market, just wonder if they got, and just keep going.
They
I
have,
love
like,
it. I love
an
it so
extra
much.
long
I love it so
wand
much.
range
I love it so
wand,
much.
like, this big.
Beautiful. Oh, what? You want to use this? How about this?
It's for home protection.
Wow.
You see here, Sharn has a castle doctrine, so this is just home defense.
Getting us canceled.
Say what?
I said she's getting us canceled.
Oh, man. No, it
All
was
right.
a joke worth making.
Texans don't cancel people. Their whole thing is not canceling people. there's a joke there. I'm not going to make it. We're going to move on.
Okay.
Hey,
Was.
Colin. Let's
Hey.
come to you. So your character saw something while on that chase. Tell me
Yeah.
about what you saw.
My character, Brock, who is a bugbear berserker / artificer now, who finds life a little dull without an explosion every now and then.
Berserkificer?
Berserk.
Berserkificer.
Yeah, I like Berserkificer.
Yeah.
Berserkificer.
That's what it is.
We'll workshop it.
Workshop it.
Not Artaburker.
I like that better.
That sounds like a house Kenneth attempt at making like burgers, but knowing House Kenneth, they refused. They're like, it's gonna be all automated.
Exactly.
Right, the entire
Yeah.
thing.
So, anyway, Brock, you may recall that during the chase scene in the market district, he sent a cart careening down towards the Nimble Right.
Yeah, that.
Unfortunately, said cart did not reach its target, and the reason for that is because that cart was full of delicious smelling stuffed flatbreads,
Oh.
and he was too distracted to get the angle right.
Okay. Well, what was what was the name of this place?
Oh God, I almost called it Crab as flatbreads because it's the first name that came to mind. Maybe it's a common name. I don't know. No, Fanny's Flatbreads is great.
Fanny's Flatbreads.
Yeah. So what he's gonna do is he gonna go back there later, not wearing his disguise, and talking like, oh man, bugbears, right?
So he's not gonna wear his disguise. He's gonna show up as a bugbear.
Exactly.
And then say,
Okay,
bugbears,
Well, he
am
was-
I right?
I heard about one who sent us a cart going. Oh, that was yours.
Oh my
That was
god.
yours. I heard about that. Yeah, no.
The
Great.
news story made me want to come check out your cart.
Exactly.
Okay, so so let's talk. Let's go ahead now and let's transition to talking about what happened. What's been happening,
Yeah.
right? So you guys had made an attempt to break into the Erlanter Villa, and discovered there are a number of other groups who are breaking into the Erlanter Villa as well. Now, not all was lost, even though there was a bunch of cash. You managed to walk out of there with two things that you were looking for. What were the two things that you walked out of there with, Cassie?
The Stone of Galore and
Nice.
and evidence against the Erlanters for the Market Square explosion.
Okay. Now, unfortunately, despite the fact that you're a Dark Lanterns of Sharn and super awesome agents, things did not end up exactly how you wanted to. How did the Erlanta Villa situation, how did it end, Dennis?
Well, it ended with us running with the stone and everybody choosing to follow.
That's exactly it. So you guys had to chase through town. So as you had to chase through town, you did everything you could as a group to try to detract from the pursuers, to try to assist one another, really just trying to get that stone to the finish line. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you also managed to pick up some things along the way. Now, you picked up something from one of the characters. Who did you pick it off of first?
I picked it off the changeling.
Which one? The tall one or the short stocky
The taller one.
The tall one. Okay, the taller changeling. What did you manage to grab?
A note.
A
to,
note. Excellent.
to a-
Now, you haven't had a chance to read it
Oh,
yet.
I haven't had
So
a
you haven't had a
chance
chance
to
to read it yet,
Nope.
but you did manage to pull a note out of her
Yep,
pocket.
nope.
So what? And I believe a similar situation happened with you. Tell me what happened with you.
Colton managed to nick a letter, a sealed envelope from the inner pocket of the Erlantar's half-orc captain of their private guard.
Oh, Rabas.
Rabas.
Excellent,
Gosh.
excellent. Okay, now you guys love this chase. You managed to get some potential information. I don't know. We're gonna find out this session what's in those. But how did this end up for the group?
Well, thankfully, we did manage to evade our pursuers with the stone and the two notes in tow. Go ahead.
Keep going. No, keep going.
Adelaide, with the stone in hand, managed to make a daring leap onto a nearby sky coach and lost all of them. And then
Wonderful.
through circuitous routes, we eventually did find our way back to White Stag Manor.
That is absolutely true. Now, I did forget to start playing the music of us
Of our peoples.
of your people. That was it. That was a mistake.
I mean, Warforged, that's techno.
So we're gonna go ahead now. You go ahead and you have we begin tonight's session. You are back inside of White Stag Manor, and we're gonna say that you've sat down in the middle of the living room. At this point in time, it is so late that the children are asleep. You can still hear the sounds from below you, the sounds of the tavern, the people in the tavern that you own, White Stag Manor. You can hear the sounds of them talking and such, kind of wafting up through the floors. But you guys are safe, and you are alone.
Colton, I'd say, is probably lying on the floor with his hat over his face, just... Everyone still have all their parts in one piece, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that went pretty well, actually.
You and I have different definitions of what pretty well
Hey,
is.
he stabbed me with something. I don't even know what it was.
No, I'm gonna side with Brock here. I've been critical of all y'all, and that could have been true foobar back there, but y'all did very good, and we did it. We were successful.
Were you about to say impressed?
Yes, I was.
Okay, where he's
Wow.
impressed, everyone.
Hey.
Impressed.
I knew I liked your stilts.
I didn't think you cared if I was impressed.
Well, I
Uh,
don't, Colton kind of pulls a little something out of his coat pocket. I nicked this off the half-orc fellow, too.
I got one too. You got one?
I got
Yeah.
one.
Hey, high five.
Ugh,
We're knickers.
ow. Colton kind of removes the hat from his face, sits up, pulls out this. Is it sealed with the seal of the Erlantars?
Yes.
Okay. We are now certain that the second eye was carried from the Boromir warehouse in the store's glass tower, remnants in Fallen.
Oh,
I no
fuck.
longer believe that it remains within the glass tower, however. After observing the Tarkanan traffic here, I am convinced that they must be using a teleportal within the tower. If we wish to track the second eye further, we will need to access that teleportal or otherwise determine where it leads. Charada.
That's a lot more information than what's in mine. Mine says, to Franklin Windkeep of Coil Alley, please accept this token of our appreciation for the great service you have rendered to us. Signed, P.K. That's it. Here you are.
Carried from the Boromir warehouse.
That last name sounds familiar.
Charada? Well, in the Boromir warehouse, where several months ago, I think we were there. So we met a new wonderful friend. I'm so razzled, I can't remember his name at the moment. But
Yeah, the son of the rich guy.
yeah,
Mhm.
He's a very good friend, but we don't remember his name at this point.
Are you talking about? Are you talking about Bonell?
Bonell!
Thank you!
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
Yep.
Bono.
Ernelvio, yeah.
So
Ernelvio.
the stone, and he had a locket that had something missing from it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was probably the second piece of the stone.
Yeah, that
Yep.
tracks.
And that means we have to go back to Fallen and go to this glass tower and then find the teleporter, which probably is also somehow linked to that other teleporter that we found in the sewer with the Tarkans.
That the snakehead guy walked
Yep.
into.
Whose name I can't remember, but that name Charada.
Harash.
What's the chin name? The CH name?
Charada.
Charada. Very close.
Charada and Harash?
Yeah, they sound similar.
They both have A's?
Yeah, there we go. See, you found it. You got it.
Cheers.
Sometimes I wonder about.
I'm sorry. What was that? What was that over there?
Nothing. I'm just so relieved to be back here safe.
That's really good. Because I'm relieved that you're here back safe too.
Well,
Thanks.
well, I also found some papers inside the house.
Oh.
Oh.
Which, by the way, I understand there's the heat of the moment, but we need to keep our heads and
Yeah.
not give actual names.
It was a bad moment. I apologize.
It doesn't just endanger me and this party, it endangers everyone I care about. My fathers, the children, Francis, everyone here at the White Stag. If they find out who I am, or who any of us are. My suggestion, moving forward, if we don't have time to have code names already planned is to pre-plan. Everyone choose a color and be referred to by that color, such as pink.
Green.
blue.
I call green.
All right. D is green. I'm going to call pink.
I'll call black.
You don't want to be pink. People with pink hair suck.
Oh, all right. I'm going to stick with it because it's a one syllable. You want black?
I don't know. I like red.
Red.
Chartreuse.
Really?
Really? That's what you want? It's a one syllable. Chartreuse. That's two. You gotta pick one.
Adelaide, I'm sorry.
What's
It
your
was a
Fine.
bad moment.
Gray.
Blue.
Blue.
We already had blue.
Gray.
No, we don't.
Gray.
RJ
Really?
is blue.
He said chartreuse.
Okay.
Adelaide.
You could do puce. That rhymes with chartreuse.
Yes, but puce is a terrible color on me.
D. Golden. All right, I'll tell these up in a moment. However, I have papers. Mine, there's a little bit more to them.
Oh,
And it's a little. So they're in the hands of Lord Elias.
Is that the scared one or
Yes,
the mean
the
one?
scared one, which is
Yeah.
interesting, given what's in these letters, because he seems sort of like just going along with the ride. But these letters may be that was a bit of a front. The scared. I'm just a nobleman. I don't know what I'm doing.
Did you get
I
a
don't
punch
know.
in
I
there,
feel
bro?
like I scared him pretty good.
But on
Go
the 6th of Dervago, 997, they have treated us like fools. In the wake of Lord Ilnelview's loss of face, with so many vacancies among the 60, and with my lineage, it should have required no effort at all for me to be elevated to my rightful place. For the Lantars to be elevated to their rightful place, so that we could guarantee the prosperity of the Lantars for future generations. Instead, they have taken our money, they have taken our favor, and they have spat in our faces. They have closed their ranks against us once again. So this journal entry, and there are others throughout the year, speak of bitterness of the Lantars who felt slighted by being excluded from the social elite in the city. On the 27th of Volt, at the fires of Long Shadows last night, Lord Berenger spoke to me of a curious matter, Irnelview's enigma. It seems that former city councillor kept some monstrous secret, and now word of that secret is beginning to spread. There are those who believe a grand game, that is capitalized, by the way, grand game may be beginning. I sense this is an opportunity to right the wrong which has been done to me. Over the next few months, into 998, his efforts were stymied, and the resources were limited, but Elias embedded agents referred by the code phrases Eagle and Catoblas into Bernal O'Nelview's household, which also has me worried because he lives in a one-bedroom apartment. Who are those people? We went into his apartment. He doesn't have a bunch of servants, so who are these people they're referring to as being part of his household who are spies on him? I'm worried about Bonneau. But the Eagle reported, we've identified the gnome who's been keeping surveillance on BN. Dalakar, an agent of Lord D, please advise. So they found Dalakar as well. Several weeks later, Dalakar abruptly stopped the surveillance of Bonnell. The Eagle played a hunch and discovered that Dalakar had ended up in the employ of Dask. Dal must still be acting under the orders of Lord D. No other explanation for the sudden shift of alliance. So according to this Eagle, they think that he did join Dask, but he was still operating for Lord Ernelview. Other notes from other sources allowed Elias to begin piecing together certain facts about the Grand Game and Nelview's enigma. There are 3 eyes with which Nelview's enigma may be seen. The first eye is held by Kavala and lies somewhere within her lair. Kavala. Bullets report that this lair can be accessed from teleportal sites within C's Cogs hideouts, provides a potential means by which this eye could be seized, but in the absence of a synchronized key, these teleportal sites are useless. Later note states,
The second eye has almost certainly been taken from BN by Tarkana, which I think is the same that you've learned from your letter. It's more important than ever that we discover who has taken, discover where O has hidden his head.
What?
It is more important than ever we discover where O has hidden his head.
His head.
And then another note, Daskins are riled. Word on the street is something was stolen from them. But not the first eye, the Stone of Galore. There's an analysis written by Elias. What if the key to Nelview's enigma, which Cavallo was known to hold in her possession, is not, as I have suspected, the eye, but instead the Stone of Galore? If so, what better thief than an agent of Daggle's? Perhaps even, or Nelview. Perhaps even sent there for that purpose. The gnome has taken the stone, I am certain of it. If we can find Dalekar, then we can seize the key. We can take the stone. Which they seemingly did by killing him in the market square.
So,
Alright. So it sounds like we got a beat on the second stone.
it does. It also seems like our initial job was to get some proof that they may have been involved with the bombing and the chaos, and this seems to at least point towards it, as well as connect it with the rest of what you guys would like to continue doing, which is continuing with the Stone of Galore. I think we may have to, first of all, report to Delk on what we have found as far as what our official orders were.
Which was finding out the culprits of the explosion.
And between the Nimblewright and now this, I think we've got enough to provide. And then we can either keep this a personal job afterwards, or we can loop Delk in and have the backing of the lanterns.
Wouldn't looping Delph in require us to reveal why we're pursuing the stones now for...
Yes.
No, because we now have a reason to pursue them. Because we do not have to say we were pursuing them initially.
So you don't mean looping him completely in, but just telling him we're pursuing this for the threads that
We would like to
it.
continue on what we have found from
Are
this.
you trying to be deceptive?
I do not believe I will be able to convince the rest of you to go legit. So if we were going to go down your path, I'd rather it signed off so that we are all covered by...
Is there anything in there, if we're going to show this to Delph as evidence, is there anything in there that implies what the stone is actually used for?
Thus far, no. I mean, we don't even really know what it's used for.
It more just speaks of Nelview's enigma.
Which I assume is the money.
I mean,
Where it's hidden.
that's the only reason that I can think of that these, these Ondarian guys would be wanting to get their hands on it so that they can buy their way into, the social elite.
Yeah.
And
Which, I mean, quite frankly, doesn't bug me because it doesn't mean we're betraying
Also, by the way, Elias full-on cut a man in half before I left.
yeah.
There's...
What?
I think there might be truth to the rumors about their family. I'm just going to put it out there.
He definitely can put his sword where his mouth is.
Wait, what about them kids?
Not bad.
Did anyone see any kids?
No.
No. And honestly, that frightened me a wee little bit, but
But-
maybe they were tucked away somewhere.
There was a room that we didn't go in.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't get in that room.
I don't know why
Their
he
aesthetical taste is also...
I'm sorry, what?
Their aesthetic taste in
Was
their
it-
decorating
Was
is...
the decor? I really wasn't paying attention, so I don't know.
Oh, just
It was a bit
demons,
creepy.
demons all over, just garish, and also demonic. In the ballroom is full of murals with demons. That's who dances to that. That's weird.
It is a little weird, yeah.
It's good to know that that you all think that's weird. That's something I'll keep in mind.
Humans find this weird.
I would say it doesn't bother me that much, but
Cancel order on toasters.
So one of the notes, though, the note I took off of the half-orc captain of their god, it mentions the glass tower in the Fallen.
Yeah.
The glass tower is the tower that fell and collapsed in and to create what is now the Fallen. So that's essentially a ruin.
But they no longer believe it's in there.
So it was in the glass tower.
Yeah, but what they're saying is that the only way of tracking the stone is to go in there through the portal. Teleportal.
There's another teleportal that we have to use to get into the glass
But we
tower.
have to have a key, which maybe the Stone of Galore is the key.
Maybe. So
Well,
this,
if they've got, because we've heard something about a first eye in this Kavala's lair, and then a second eye, which is the one that we think was taken
from the glass tower.
from Bonal's.
But then
Well, from what
later
I-
in the
yeah.
same diary entries, he says it's not an eye, it's the stone, not an eye, in Kalavala's
Oh, in
lair.
Kavala's lair.
Yeah.
Okay.
They said, "Oh, I messed up. It's the stone. It was
And
taken
that's the-
by Delica."
Dalekar took that, and then the Lanterns took it with their nibble. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Seemingly, while an important name, Kavala doesn't have one of the items.
Right.
Anymore.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean they're not seeking the item, right? Because that was
Right.
Dask was Kalava, whatever the name is.
It,
Kavala.
it doesn't specifically say that Kavala is. Hold on. The first eye is held by Kavala and lies somewhere within her lair.
Right, but how did Delica get it? And he was working with Dask.
Right.
So I'm assuming she spotted Dask, which then means Tarkanan was around the glass thing, right? That was in the earlier entry. It said something about Tarkanan.
That's in the note that he took.
Okay, it says something about Tarkanan be around here. So Tarkanan could have that first eye, went through that teleporter thing, and then we gotta follow it through the teleporter dealing with Tarkanan in the Fallen.
Okay, hold on for 1 second. And he walks over and finds one of the tables, and he huffs it up, like, turns it sideways and huffs it up onto the other table, and, like, takes, like, a pen and, like, literally starts using it as a whiteboard, like, trying to draw and connect, because there's so many names and things going around.
Would you like a whiteboard?
Oh!
Ooh, Dennis, go use the whiteboard.
Why not? I think it's a great idea that you want to write this down.
Yeah.
Write this
So if you
down.
want to write this down, I'm going to say that again. If you want to write these things down,
Yeah.
this may be a good idea. Now, is this going to make great camera? No.
We could
We
use the
saw-
battle
we saw
camera
our
to show.
audience.
We can use the battle camera to show
We will get a
Dennis.
snapshot of it.
Well, actually, the camera did kind of turn to face it pretty well with you talking over
It
there.
tracks
so
audio.
It is.
It does, but I want to be super clear about this. Is just make sure that when you talk, face that camera. Okay, but you use this however you need. If you need to take things off, feel free to. I love this.
All
I'm
right.
so happy.
All right, so
Let
we.
us start again so that we can all have a visual, and then we'll also decide how much of it we do share with when we
Okay.
have Del.
Yeah.
So, according to the diary entries, Ellis states that Kavala had an eye.
I'm going to use initials unless we need
Yeah,
to,
that's
especially because other things use initials and we may need to match them up.
Sure.
Right. Kavala had an eye. However, that eye turned into the stone, and that stone was with Delica, and that stone was taken from Delica by Lantars. And then now we have the stone.
So we have the stone that Delica had.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then they had a bead on a other stone that was in the Fallen district in the Glass Tower. And that went through a teleportal that was surrounded by Tarkanan. And that's the end of what we know about that eye.
So that went to a teleporter.
Teleportal through with Tarkanan.
Oh, by the way,
Tarkanan, Tarkanan.
Right. K is incorrect. Kavala is with a C.
Thank you.
And then I got a letter that was from, I can't see my letter, that was to a Franklin Windkeep of Quill Alley. And it basically said, thank you for token of appreciation for your great service from PK.
Quill Alley. Where's Quill Alley?
Yeah, I don't know what Quill Alley is. I also don't know who the hell Franklin Windkeep is.
Well, we have a full name.
We do have a full name. And a location.
That was the one that we took off the changeling.
Yeah,
right?
that was a changeling.
Might not even be his real name.
May not be a real name. But
But it's something.
if someone is able to get a letter to someone with a full name, because they probably handed off and said, hey, give this to Franklin Windkeep of Quill Alley, then they located the guy.
Okay. And PK, and we don't have anybody that matches PK yet.
Yeah.
No.
So the first one, we basically have resolved it other than who the hell is Kavala, but she's more than likely with Dask, because that's what Delica was.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, we have to follow it, but but so far it's surrounded by Tarkanan.
I will say, you're right, we are done. We have collected this one, but she may be somebody worth speaking to.
Also someone who's going to probably come after us when she
Possibly.
finds out the chain of events.
Speaking of people coming after us, we had 3 groups clearly there that were interested.
Yeah.
Das
That's going to make
Gazes.
this messy.
Das
Dask,
Gazes follows the whole
the
time.
Gazes, yeah. Colton's right with that one. Then we got Tarkanan, that joint that jumped out the window.
They
You
went
missed a
on,
no name.
They went in the pursuit, thankfully.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they
We
weren't
gotta get that
pursued.
guy's name.
But we got to figure out. He was still there, and unless we had beaten him to his other party to a pulp, he wasn't going to be a problem.
Can we back up for a moment? I know it's
Yes, yes,
semantics, but it might. Stone too. It's the second eye, not a stone like this. This is a stone. The rest are eyes.
Thank you.
What?
Which means this, because this was not an eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out to be a stone.
And the letter that I managed to pick, it's addressed from someone named Sharada. We probably shouldn't put that name just off to the side. That could be information we can get.
Yeah, sure, out of CH.
Okay.
If you think that's worth pursuing.
Was that the one that was involved with the Boromar warehouse?
Yeah, that was that
Okay.
one.
SCH?
CH.
Or just CH?
Well, that was the one who appears to at least have knowledge of what happened at the Boromar warehouse.
Right.
And we said we have Dask.
We think
Lasers.
Dask has one of the eyes as well.
No,
We
no,
don't?
no, because Dask was taken. Kavala was the one with the eye, and it turned out to actually be the stone,
Well,
right?
I looked at that. I look at that locket. That stone was not fitting in there.
Yeah, but then what happened was that one that was taken by the Bormias was taken to Fallen in the glass
You
tower.
mean this couldn't fit in the locket? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The eye that was in the locket was with the Bormias, the second one. The one we're talking about right there that was in the glass tower in Fallen and is surrounded by Tarkanan. Per the letter. That's that eye.
If it's the one
Look,
taken from the
read the
locket, then
letter.
yes, it has to be small. Yes.
Thank you.
Didn't our glorious employer have one?
Yes.
Yeah,
He
he's got
does-
one.
Has
We
one.
know
So
the
we're missing
location of
two.
one.
Okay, so
So now we got a stone and
we're
we
gonna
got,
call that
and we
eye
only
3.
need 2 eyes.
Eye 3. We're just gonna put no. So if anybody sees this, eye 3, we know where that one is. We don't
Yeah.
have to find it.
I1, we have.
We have eye 1, right?
No,
No,
we got
have
the stone.
stone.
So this
I1
eye
is unknown.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
will-
know who has it. There's... You were right the first time when you put the second eye. The second eye is the one that they refer to as being with Tarkanan, likely.
I want you to give me an investigation check.
Okay. And as far as groups go, we've got Dask, we've got the Gazers, and we have the Changelings. Do we know who they were involved with?
Those changelings seemed to... Something about them seemed familiar. I can't put my finger on it, though.
All I know is they got past my awareness when I went to the door, which means they're good at what they
Oh,
do.
talk cannon.
Huh.
Do we want to put the Lantas up there?
Sure, because this will be people of aware. Because I don't think, and until we tell Delph, and he sends somebody to pick them up, we're not safe from them yet.
Yeah, in the play. Yeah, I got you.
I wish we could have just got one thing. One thing that we could have gone. Here it is. Proof that they blew up that market square.
We have some
I think the
circumstantial,
diary's it.
We have circumstantial.
and that might be enough.
I mean, there was never going to be direct proof.
Well, we
They
have-
also, when I left, still in disguise, Lord Elias intimated that if the guard was coming because of the break-in, we needed to clean up because there were things there's things hidden in there that we didn't get. However, and I'm gonna pull out that ring of keys I still have.
Oh, from the Lantars?
This is probably useful if we're handing this off to the lanterns to give them these keys.
Oh, are they gonna are we saying they're gonna do a raid?
I don't know. I'm not. But if we're trying to hand off to try and send the Lantas away, I do have these keys still.
That's
Do
interesting.
you think it's enough? Do we think it's enough that Delph will be willing to send in a team? Or that we can convince the god to send in a team? I guess we already are Delph's team who went in.
Well, and that our job was to get proof so he could.
Yeah, we got enough proof.
There's
that he can
enough
go in there.
proof for them to investigate. There's enough proof
conjecture.
to go in. We have enough. We do know that they were the owner and purchasers of
The nibble raid.
the Nimberite. We do know the Nimberite blew the shit up.
Yeah.
And we did get confirmation from Captain Maurice Botet that they were the ones who bought it. We have hard proof.
And we
And-
also have evidence that they were looking for Delica.
We also, technically, have the weapon.
Yes. So, I think it would be enough to at least hand off, because as we know, it's not, at least on the other ones I've been a part of, it's not our job to bring them in, it's our job to prove it.
Yeah.
So, we can let them do the heavy work, and then with that ring, which, by the way, damn good job. Both the letters and that keyring killed it. Delph's gonna be happy with what we give. And I think we'll be able to hand that off and then quietly indicate we want to continue down the path of what these letters indicate.
Just one more thing that's been kind of bothering me. I think it's important that we keep in mind that, like, the Atlantas aren't working off of full knowledge either. They're having to do some guesswork too.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure that the eye is the stone.
Yeah.
But he thought it was.
So you're saying that Dash could have had two?
It's possible.
I think he's more just saying that we can't assume that the Atlantas are the masterminds behind the whole thing. They
Yeah.
probably know just about as much as we do, if maybe a little bit more.
Oh no! I mean, the fact that they thought that it was a stone, an eye, and then it was a stone, like that shows that they didn't have 100% information.
We also do know somebody that can indicate the differences and confirm some stuff for us. So,
True.
we have one ace in our hole that they may not, and that's somebody that knows exactly what we're looking for. So now we have at least one more piece to take back to them. We can say, hey, we're one step closer. You know, just to let them know where we're at and what we're working towards.
Yeah.
But I agree. They didn't have all the information either. So, and they were doing guesswork just like we were.
Well, I mean, the best bead we got right now is I2. We got a location specifically delineating and saying there's a teleportal involved, and then we have to take the key to get in there.
It is, but this is travel and distance, and puts us in a weird spot because we don't know where that teleport is going to take us.
Right.
I will say, this at least isn't maybe somewhere in our town. It might be easier to look over just to initiate and then come to that, depending on what we want to do with it. Because we do have
Hold
a
on.
Would I can't quite remember with the cosmopolitan background, would that enable any kind of like knowledge or understanding of a specific place within the city called Quill Alley?
You can go ahead and give me a culture check. This will represent your knowledge of the city.
Okay. And culture is intelligence, right?
Correct.
It's like 6.
No, I will say, we have a full name, and we have Quill Alley.
Mhm.
Which truly probably won't be much harder than just asking around.
Correct. Also, we've already seen once. I know some people downtown. So there's only one person downtown can get us information, at least of buildings. I assume he could also tell me where Quill Alley would be considered.
Probably.
And who came with me? You were with me. No, you were with me. You found some place to look up names there, didn't you?
Yeah, birth records.
We might be able to find some information on.
Yeah, I mean, we can go and check out the names, but again, it's for people that were born here.
True, but we've got a couple names we don't know the people of.
That's true.
Get a little information.
Yeah, that would at least help.
So, I guess it all comes down to, do we do some information gather and then proceed, or do we want to jump to here and come back around for this? And we can think about that. I think some of it's going to depend on how much we don't tell our commanding officer.
Well, I mean, I can also ask around about these names too. I have the cosmopolitan background. It allows me to do investigations to find people. Do you want that to be played out separately?
That's exactly how that gets played out.
Cool. That definitely can help.
So you're going to be looking for this Franklin.
The Franklin.
Windkeep.
Yeah, Franklin Windqueep of Quill Alley.
You may follow up with your father also with some of these names. Because it doesn't seem like we're dealing with a lot of... Yes, we're definitely dealing with some people in the scumbag area, but we also aren't dealing with only that. So you may see if he knows any of the names, if you think that that's an option.
Can I, this is probably stupid, but can I look at this specific letter and see if I can ascertain the quality of the paper and the ink in the handwriting, having been a courier?
That was a brilliant question. That wasn't stupid at all.
Give me an investigation check.
So, 18.
This is perfumed, and this is the hand of someone who is educated. Well, a perfume-scented paper, which is of a higher quality. It's not your everyday scratch paper.
P and K.
I mean, would it be worth asking around for places where changelings are unknown to congregate? I mean, I'm not saying, obviously it's a little reductive to assume that all changelings are know each other and are involved in this, but
Reductive. That's the R word we were looking for.
yeah.
I mean, yes.
Brock has a thesaurus.
Is it a particular scent of perfume I recall?
I told you what you know.
Okay.
So, yeah. I don't know what else can be gleaned from this other than the names we got, and what we can follow, and we can kind of plan next steps.
Let's be honest, this is more than we had going into this initially.
Yeah, no.
When I joined you guys, we had a blown up, bazaar, and a suggestion it might have been a robot. So,
Yeah,
doing better
this
already.
is a step up.
Yeah.
I think we've all earned a night of rest. This was a rough night.
I think we need to actually find some people to maybe watch the place while we're not here, just as a precaution. We got kids living here. We got people that work for us living here. I would feel better if someone was here in case someone tried to come in, strong on the place.
And we should also be just maybe have somebody keep an ear out for people asking around about Adelaide.
Yeah. We gotta figure that out too.
Hey,
The kids actually would be really good at that. Just, keeping an ear out for it.
maybe people will. What's the big boat in the harbor? Maybe they'll think I was talking about the big boat in the harbor.
I mean, that
is
is
true.
But again,
But-
keeping it near the ground is actually a really good idea.
That was the
I
mental-
don't think
Well,
that he's that's kind of a
second
stretch.
place we could also keep an eye out for them, but the problem is keeping an eye out for changeling is very difficult, seeing as they
Can
can look like anything.
Now who's being the other arm?
Oh yeah, the other thing, I don't think we brought this up. They fucking knew who we were. They recognized us.
They seemed really familiar, and they seemed to know us.
Yeah,
They did?
yeah. They seemed to recognize us.
You gotta remember, I was in a bathroom.
And you
So-
know what? That recognition kind of got me thinking about stuff. Like, they were gentle until I actually kept fighting them.
I think I heard a name. Saul.
Soul.
Saul.
Wait.
Do we know this?
The one who was holding up the bedroom called out to the smallest, stocky one, and called them Saul.
So, just a question. Like, that sounds familiar from the boat, right?
From the boat.
The boat.
The boat.
The big
Ca-
boat.
You mean Captain Maurice Bortet?
Was Saul
I mean,
the
there
guy
was
the
one
guy
was
in the
very, very
rowboat?
tall.
I think he was the one who was in the robot who kept talking about lewd things. Yeah.
Because there was a woman, then was the dude, and they both talked a lot.
The man in the rowboat, his name was Big.
Big.
I was gonna say I don't have
Okay.
Saul written
How did
down
we-
anywhere.
Rewind that about 2 steps.
Just a clarification. But as another clarification, the name Saul was mentioned, but I don't believe any of the two changelings that you saw were called specifically Saul.
In the Erlanter's bedroom.
Yeah, was one of them called
Yeah,
directly
one was
Saul?
called
When the woman gave the command to give chase, she called out and said, like, call him Saul or something.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make an edit. That was a mistake. She called him Big.
Okay.
Okay.
So, big. She called him Big.
That was my bad.
That's all right. Big.
That was the Roman.
The Roman.
So they know us. So it's them.
So they were there,
They were there. They're changelings.
and they hold on.
But here's
And they
the-
would have known we were. They would have known we were going there.
Because
Or-
we basically said we were going to be investigating them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here's the question: is Botet in on it, or are they just using him?
Depends. I mean, the man is a traveling merchant.
Who picks stuff up falling off a ship.
Seems like the guy who would own some nice perfume.
Do you think he's PK?
Are you kidding? I could barely breathe in half that place.
Whoa. You're saying he's PK?
No, he may not be PK.
I don't know
but
if he's PK. It sounds like they
But he
did
might be an
something
associate.
good.
Maybe a
Yes.
member of the crew.
Maybe. Well, not
One
crew.
initial fits. I mean, but her last name doesn't start. Her surname doesn't start with a K, which
Who
was
is it?
Philahia.
Lahia.
Philahia Lefien was the first mate.
Oh yeah.
It was the big, tall lady.
He was a tall lady.
And-
Tall lady. And we had a big tall lady that recognized us.
What?
Nothing.
And she sounded
The tall
familiar.
thing.
Oh yeah, the whole thing.
Big tall lady.
So now we know. Okay, well now it all makes sense.
Those initials,
Okay.
I'm not writing that whole name out.
Falaya is
P LF.
FL.
This could
Falaya.
actually play to our advantage then,
How's it gonna pay to our advantage?
because if they heard me say the name Adelaide, and Captain Maurice's boat is Adelaide,
They won't make that connection.
they may not, but it's a possibility.
I know you're really stretching to make
Hadn't
sure
they
you
already
didn't fuck
left
it
by
up.
the time?
Dude,
Yeah.
it's okay. You just said a name. There's a lot of Adelaides
most
in this
people
world. I'm
will-
sure she's not the only Adelaide out here.
When we were in the
Medical
house and my
mistakes,
name
but
was called
in the end, it
out,
was
to
a
my
win.
knowledge,
Oh,
the
wow.
people still in the house were the creepy groundskeeper, the one guard that I had lead me up, and then Elias, who was upstairs, murdering a man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that groundskeeper also is a
Which
some kind of
we have
horrifying
got
monster.
when we
What do you
talk to Delph, we gotta make sure that he knows
Shadow
Elias is dangerous. Elias bad, dangerous. He's more than what he is. Because if someone goes in there and gets chopped to bits, that's gonna be on us.
Yes, but we just had questions about things, and this guy's now just speaking up that
Oh yeah, the groundskeeper is maybe some kind of powerful mage, maybe some kind of. When I saw him, I jumped from that balcony. He was a being of pure shadow, and as he followed me into the house, and as me and Brock fled, he turned back to a more corporeal form. So no wonder he works all night.
Has Deidre ever heard of anything like this before happening? Someone being able to come one with the shadow?
Children's source.
Children's stories. There's a boogeyman.
Probably some kind of being that they have as a bodyguard.
That's one of those questions where there's 400 things it could be. So we're just gonna call it children's stories.
Yeah. All right. But anyway, when we send them in there, we gotta let them know about all the dangers and how dangerous it is to go that. Now, knowing Delph, he may not even want to move against them because it's a political target, you know.
that is very true too. However, blow up a section of the city. It doesn't protect the wealthy and the politically strong in this
Well,
town.
You hope.
It's actually it's actually quite dangerous when you think about they are foreign diplomats from a foreign nation, and they instigated basically an act of terrorism on Brelish soil. It's actually a pretty huge deal.
Yeah. I think Delph will want as much proof as he can to look into that.
Yeah.
See, I don't disagree, but I also think it's something that he can take and be very happy turning in as an issue resolved,
I would be happy to see what they do with it.
and
But
would get off your guys' back for having been successful.
How long have we known Delph? Does he seem like the type to
get off his ass.
to turn in something based off of conjecture?
It's
No.
The thing is you keep indicating conjecture, but we do have points of proof. Yes, some of it's circumstantial, but some of it is actual. We have confirmation and proof that they bought the number right.
Yeah.
And that the number right was there and controlled by them.
Right.
We have at least accounts of the number right being the one that did it. And an understanding that number rights don't work on their own and only the owners can command them.
Right.
Right.
So it has to have come from them, and then we have motive.
Right. No.
So we have
agree
motive
with
and
that.
enough evidence that I think he at least would be able to tell us if he needs more, or maybe able to make a decision on if they want to move forward.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't tell Delph. I'm saying tell Delph. Tell Delph this is a big deal. What I'm saying is that I don't think he has, the want to do anything more. But I just don't like the guy. So
And I do understand.
It
that
sort
we
of
do
sounds like
have-
you guys are circling around that you guys want to have a conversation with Delph. Am I
Yes.
getting
Yeah.
some shame?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and skip past this whole portion of the do we or do we not. do we of this portion, like maybe we should just go talk to him instead, right?
Yeah, we'll call him
Okay.
here.
Sounds like we're getting kind of circular here. So, is there anything more you want to discuss before you actually speak with them?
What?
I want to pull Adelaide aside.
Does this involve talking? Will this affect the conversation
No.
with Delph? Okay, well, that's what I'm looking for right now.
What
We'll go
don't
into your
we
side
want to
scenes in a
tell
bit.
Delph? I look at you guys. Since it is your guys' side mission, what don't you want to tell
We
him?
just don't mention what's his face. That was the promise we made.
Lord Sir John.
Yeah, Lord Strong.
We probably don't want to tell him what we think the stone is used for.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, well, truly, we don't know how it works, so it's not.
Well, yeah, but we know what the end goal of, or at least what one party's end goal of getting the stone
So
is.
indicating any pre-knowledge is what we will avoid of that portion of this. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we go to bed, I want to...
We're calling Delph right now. Does this involve the Delph conversation?
No, sorry, I didn't realize we were calling him immediately.
That's
in the middle of
as
the
I
night.
said. That's right. We are skipping to the conversation with Delph. So that is what we just agreed to do. So, does it involve the Delph conversation?
It does.
Sure. What do we got?
Before we hand things over to him, I want to copy down the notes so that if
He's not going to physically be in the room.
Oh,
You're just calling him with the stone that you have.
Yeah.
Right.
to schedule a meeting again.
Well,
he's
we
going
talk
to be
over
very
it.
angry
Yeah, I mean,
at
we can
us.
just tell him, hey, look into it. Here's what we got, and he doesn't need to let us.
Okay. So you place the call.
Yeah.
Okay. So the stone begins to ring, and you hear after a moment and I like to imagine maybe it's on the table in front of everybody, right?
It's the
speakerphone.
auto call.
Yeah, speakerphone. Everybody, right? You hear you hear the telltale beep that the message is going, that the call is going through, and then you hear the sound of a hold. It goes. Hold on, honey. I got a people calling. It's a work thing, and you hear come back to bed, sweet, and you just hear a door close. He goes, what?
Sorry, sir. But we.
You got me on speaker, Stone?
Yes.
Ugh.
That way, everybody can include the information that we've gathered. But we have made large leaps into finding our culprit for the bombing.
Oh, all right.
And it may trail into further work you want us to do, but we wanted to relay it first to find out.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked left and right. I'm like,
Sir, we believe the culprits of the explosion in Marketplace are the Lantar brothers.
The ambassadors?
Yes.
The Andarian ambassadors.
Yes.
That's it. Okay. You got proof?
We have the Nimberite that was seen causing it has been identified as their possession, and we have letters that were found in their home indicating motive towards seeking property that they were chasing.
You got receipts for that number, right? You got paperwork showing that purchase?
We did receive from the seller. We did receive a confirmation that the nibble right was.
So it's by
sold.
word then, is what you're saying.
I don't know if we were able to.
All right.
keep
Well,
that
if we can bring this seller in, right? We can use him as a witness then.
that might be difficult.
Oh, and why is that?
It
He
fell
is
off
on
the
the
back
water.
of a. It fell off the back of a boat.
Fell off the back of a bow.
The nibble right did.
The number right fell off the back of a bow. It's stolen, is what you're saying.
Presumptively.
Okay. Well, how likely do you think this person would be willing to act as a witness against the Lanterns?
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely. All right. Even if we offered immunity for the fall off the back of the boat stuff.
Yes.
Well, no.
I
Depending on how much immunity how much we're willing to look the other way on some of his other endeavors.
What do you mean other endeavors?
I have a feeling he dabbles in the sale of uneasily acquired items.
Yeah, we just literally discussed theft.
Yes. But I don't think this is his only sales or his only items.
Well, then that may be a problem. So you don't think he's going to be willing to come in as a witness without taking extremely
No,
hard
however,
steps.
and I understand you're looking for a written receipt, and you're looking for a witness to talk about it, but we
I'm
have
not-
seen the Nimborite in possession and responding to them as owners.
Right, here's what I'm trying to get at. You say that you have proof, and so I'm trying to remind you that proof takes many forms. You either got a hard paper trail, or you got a witness. Now that's what is needed for a court of law. Now on the other hand, for the Dark Lanterns to take action, well, you got a little bit of wiggle room as to what constitutes as proof. But if we're looking to do a court of law situation, you need a paper trail or you need a witness. And if you don't have a receipt, aka a paper trail showing that, then that doesn't really count. And if your witness ain't willing to talk, then you don't have proof. But on the other hand, if you saw it with your own eyes, well, then that should be able to allow you all to take action against the Lantars, as is your job. All right, so you managed to you figured this out. Great, that's wonderful.
Before we committed a international incident, even with the approval, we wanted to make sure we crossed I's and T's with you, sir. Because I know your preference to not have dirty paperwork on your desk, and this could have been it if we didn't talk.
Could have been, absolutely. Well, I'm gonna definitely say you may end up proving a national incident, so we may need a little bit more. Is this all you got then? It's just some paperwork?
We have diary entries.
Okay, diary entries. All right, that may be good enough. All right.
I don't know that it really counts as evidence, but I have a ring of keys from their house, and they...
Oh, that's theft, Adelaide. That counts as theft.
Right. They intimated there's more in their house that they're hiding.
All right, we'll get in there and find out what it is.
Great.
Oh.
Okay.
That's what the work is, right? Sounds like this is the only job you guys have.
Yep.
Yeah, top of the priority list.
Nothing else?
This seems to be a larger thing, part of a larger whole, sir. There seem to be multiple factions. When we went to the Atlanta's house, we weren't the only ones.
Multiple factions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who?
Dask.
From a jump.
Dask?
Yeah.
Why are you both talking over each other? I heard Dask.
Tarkanan.
House Tarkanan.
That's Tarkanan.
Yeah.
Huh.
A
Group of
gang of
changelings.
gazers.
Well, they're with Dad.
They're with
That's
Dask,
right. That's true.
Dask?
Changelings.
House Tarkanan. You're talking about the Baron Dragonmarked pseudo house thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, why would they be involved in this? They're generally just
Because the explosion was in an attempt to get some items that are currently in or around the city. From some of the letters, I believe it was called.
Stone of Galore.
Yeah, Stone of Galore is what I
Yeah.
think they called it.
Stone of Galore?
Yes.
So it tracks back to the earlier assignment that you had us going and finding Bonel of Nalview. These factions have also been tracking him.
Yeah, well,
The diary entries that we have indicate very clearly the Orlanters have spies watching Bonel.
well, yeah, so have we.
Right. But I'm saying, so it ties back to that.
It all boils down to Ernelview's enigma.
That's also mentioned in the diary.
Yeah, that'll be the money. Dagal Ernelview, as you may already know, embezzled a fuck ton of money out of the city of Sharn before he absconded, and nobody quite has been able to figure out where that money is.
A vast fortune.
And it is I don't know much about the Stone of Galore, but I do know some things, and that may be the key to finding solving Ernelview's enigma, the location of that hidden money.
Well, sir, do you know what it looks like?
The stone?
Yeah.
I saw a picture once, like a
Well,
big gray rock or something.
let me put it to you like this. I can tell you in detail because it's sitting on our table.
You got the Stone of Galore. Good. That's very good. You picked that up from the Lanterns?
Yes.
Very good. All right, is it whole? Should have 3 eyes in it.
I'll let you
Hold on. I'll use some paper shuffling. Yeah. It should have 3 eyes in it.
It's got
Nope.
three eye sockets. Is that what you meant?
No, I meant 3 eyes in it. So, if there's no eyes in that, and if you have only sockets, that means they don't have the eyes. All right. This is important information. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Wow. Okay, now I'm paying. Now you have my attention. All right. Factions. You said the Tar Cannons,
Yes.
and you said Dask
Yes.
and Lantars.
Yes.
Okay.
And changelings.
And a
Changelings.
gang of changelings.
Yeah, there was some changelings at the mana too.
There's 3 factions. Three other factions involved, including the Lantars themselves.
Yes.
But the Lantars seem to be
And
kind
that
of castrated at this point if you took that stone from them. If I should.
and that third faction may or may not be involved with who sold the Nimborek.
Which is why you can't use them as a witness. I see. You just say that in the beginning. It helps reduce the confusion. All right. Well, let's make this easy. This is whatever assignment you have working with the Lantars. We're gonna put that off to the side. Although we'll make sure we have people keep an eye on that. If you cross paths with the Lantars again, well, try to get some better information as you can as to that. See if you can find more proof. But your priority at this point is that stone. And primarily, really, is to Nelvy's Enigma, but that stone has to be kept safe. You understand? That thing has more power than well, any of us even really know. I ain't gonna go into much more. That's all you need to know. I'll get some funds transferred. Make sure you get some funds in advance transferred over to your accounts overnight. You should we'll call it 1,000 gold piece, plus 1,000 towards your group, towards those group funds. They'll be in your Kundarak account.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
That'll help us great.
Well, better. You use these as supply as what you got to work with. This will be in addition to your normal stipend to keep going. But you need to find that stone. You need to find out what's going on. You need to make sure that above all, Dask, Tarkanan, and whoever these changelings are, and I want you to find out who that is too, because this is an unknown player. All right. You need to make damn certain that they do not find this, because if they get a hold of that money, well, they're gonna have all the resources they need to do all kinds of unfortunate shit. The Boromars have pretty much held a stranglehold on a lot of the crime in Sharn, and while that doesn't sit well with some, they tend to play nice with law enforcement. At least you're sticking to your basic stuff, right? Your basic corruption and such, and we can handle corruption. What we can't handle is whatever Tarkanan's planning. Which is weird, though. By the way, I really want to kind of turn back around on that. Tarkanan is a group of aberrant Dragonmarks. I don't know why they'd be involved in crime. They haven't typically been too much involved in that kind of stuff, unless something's changed.
Not making a sound on the stone, he looks over at you.
It seems that the Tarkanans are fractured.
They're fractured, you say? Well, that's interesting to know. Tell me more.
I'm afraid I don't have much more than that, so at this time.
All right.
It seems that there are two factions, and it seems that this one is more malevolent in their intents. There was a man, we didn't get his name. He stabbed the shit out of Brock and jumped out a window.
All right. So there's a split faction. Okay, so here's what you need to do. All right. Follow leads. Whatever clues you have, go locations, track them down, even if they seem small. Figure it out. I want to know. I want to know more about the second Tarkanan faction. I want to know more about whatever Das is up to, and they plan to do. And I want you to get these pieces all together. Also, figure out who the hell these changelings are, because we got an unknown player on the field, and I do not like the unknown. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, money will be in your account tomorrow. I'm going back to bed. Unless there's anything else I need to know.
No, but if you would like to send a courier since you are going to take over the Elias house, or the Lantern house.
I don't say I'm taking over. I'm saying we're going to keep tabs on it.
We have to get more information for him to take over.
It's still your assignment,
Okay. I
but
apologize.
I'll keep
I
tabs on it.
I realize keeping tabs is from a distance, but just so you know,
You're the field agents.
people keeping tabs should be wary that they are very much dangerous, particularly Helias, and also possibly an undead groundskeeper.
Dangerous. Well, I already knew that they were dangerous politically. Are you talking about something else?
No,
Physically.
physically.
Apparently, he cut a guy in half.
With
The
relative
groundskeeper?
No.
Helias.
Although-
Helias?
Yeah.
That slip of a man?
Yes.
He's got some muscle behind that.
No, that
Or
doesn't sound.
something else.
That doesn't sound right.
Wait.
Cut a man in half?
Yeah, cut
Yes.
him in half.
We're talking about Helias, not Elias.
Yeah.
They're twins. Neither
Right.
one of them are particularly large
Right.
men. And you're saying Helias cut a man in half?
Yes.
That small man.
Yes.
Yes.
That doesn't seem weird to you?
It does
Oh, it
seem
seems
weird.
horribly weird.
That's why we're letting you know about it.
Yeah, that sounds weird to me. Figure out what the hell that's about too. If you get the chance, the stone's priority. All right,
Got it.
All right, sir.
that's it.
I feel so good about this.
Have a good evening.
Boop.
And I hit the button.
And done.
Okay, so in hindsight, we probably should have expected the high-ranking agent to probably know a few things about Sharn.
That's why I asked what I was and was not allowed to say.
Yeah.
I made it
That-
very clear what you wanted me not to
Yeah,
bring
no,
up.
it's not on you.
It doesn't necessarily hurt because we could get more resources to try and find the other stones. In
But
the
then
end,
that puts us in direct conflict with the promise we made to.
Lord Sir John.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah, it does. Because do you think Delph is going to let us take this stone and give it to Sir John? Or are we supposed to give it to Delph?
The end might. But the process would be the same either way, and now we have resources to go through the same process.
Whoa. You keep telling us that we're acting too rash, and then you're telling us you can't look into the future to try to figure out what the hell this is going to lead down into a car wreck. Or, I'm sorry, a cart wreck.
This sounds like we're already over our head, so we need to be. I want to get through it and figure out what we're dealing with before I'm worried about what the end game is. Our commanding officer just sounded concerned. I've never heard that man sound concerned.
That guy sounds like it's concerned all the time.
Not
Concerned
like
about
that.
us not reporting. Concerned about us not doing paperwork. Concerned.
That's
no,
not
that's
the same.
irritated.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can't take it back now. So what do we want to go after first here?
I say we figure out this Quill guy, and because we can't go anywhere, we can't go after the second eye without all of us there. I don't want to send anyone down there without
Okay.
someone being in the same area. We can scout it out once we're there, but we have to have people that are back up. So finding this Quill guy, I don't know, pulling up names, figuring out who
The changelings of
Sees-
Otetes.
Colette, is that what her name was? Kalava?
Kavala.
Kavala. Figured out who that is.
I mean, I could go down to Loador and put out some feelers. Although it's pretty dangerous. If this is a higher up in desk, it might be dangerous to go around, just saying their name.
Well, I get some contacts. I gotta try to figure stuff out. See what names are out there.
Okay.
Small
Saying
pictures.
that-
Small
yeah.
pictures have big ears.
All right.
So we were starting with Quill Alley,
I think that'd be the easiest.
and then we will figure out whether we go another direction after we get any information from that. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, we should start out there, and I'll pull out feelers for Kavala
All right.
as well.
That sounds like a plan. We should all get some sleep and be aware of whatever we need to get. We should probably get as quickly as possible tomorrow before we head out.
Now, as you all are heading to take your rest, with the knowledge that you will begin tomorrow the investigation into Franklin Windkeep of Quill Alley, is there anything else that anybody wants to do before they head to rest?
Are the kids awake?
No, I meant they were asleep. It's late at night.
I want to pull up aside Adelaide. Okay. How do you know if somebody likes someone else? Like, what's the body language?
Normally if somebody is attracted and wanting to put themselves out there and showing that, it tends to be very open body language, right, versus closed off. So more openness.
Would they go to
leaning
garden
in.
parties?
What?
Would they go to garden parties?
Possibly. What
At
is
night?
this? I mean, you can be with any number of people at a garden party in the evening. If it's an evening garden party, you could be with a lover, with a friend, with a family
So
member.
it's not necessarily obvious that they were together if they're at a garden party with a lot of people.
No, I mean, I've gone with Daddy and Papa to parties.
Oh,
I've
okay.
gone
So it
with-
could be a relative.
Yes, it could be a relative or a
Okay.
friend.
All right,
Right?
good. I'm gonna go with that. Thanks. Good night.
Weirdest interaction you've had all night.
Wonderful. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and end the session there. All right, so let's get into it real quick. Cassie, how is Adelaide feeling about the situation that's happened between of tonight, right? Your Lantar villa, the chase, and this conversation on the cruise. Where's she sitting right now?
I mean, there's a lot, but especially coming back and talking to Delph, her main concern is Cedron and his children and Francis's family, and not just that we gave them their word, but the twins will die. Their souls are forfeit if we cannot help Lord Cedron.
That is correct.
To innocent children who she cares about. And she also, they're siblings to Francis who she cares about deeply as well. And we also owe a debt. She is, I think her mind is turning constantly as we go to sleep about how to balance these two plates simultaneously.
That's a lot. Brock, or Colin, how's Brock feeling about the situation?
Brock's feeling conflicted. On the one hand, it's very clear that Adelaide cares about these two kids, and he obviously doesn't want any harm to come to them. But at the same time, I don't know that he necessarily likes that. He doesn't really like the position that he has been put into, where he, is having to keep secrets from the agency that he works for.
I can absolutely understand that,
Yeah.
right? Being torn in multiple directions. It's interesting that the story is taking you guys there,
Yeah.
right? I really like that. Dennis, how's RJ feeling about this whole situation?
So there's two sides of it. First, the actual heist and chase. RJ is thrilled about. He watched this team that, as we were doing things earlier, seemed to be very chaotic, get the job done. Adelaide did amazing things. Our rogue had a layout and did some fantastic things on the chase. Our muscle and our spellcasters kept us safe through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like,
The team did a great
for as
job.
questionable as he saw the team from the outside, when the shit hit the fan, it worked.
So he's feeling more comfortable now with this
Yeah,
group.
he's
Absolutely wonderful.
He's like, okay, Delph doesn't quite understand that they actually have that shit down. It's just in the interaction with him. Because when they need to do it, they do it.
Yeah.
So he's calmer about that. And then, very much like what was just said from Brock's point of view, he was even more conflicted in general because there was this mission that had nothing to do with what he was assigned. And so he's actually more comfortable right now because, again, he'll figure out the end goal, but he's allowed to work on their personal mission now is his professional mission.
Yes, and that's...
So he can settle in and be like, cool, what do we do then?
And that, now I can feel comfortable about what's happening
Yeah.
here. Absolutely. Sarah, how's Dee feeling?
Dee is still very conflicted with RJ. Like, he's a cool dude, but then he does uncool things, like mention a bunch of stuff.
Like his job, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But like, and she's worried about not keeping her word with the kids because she likes kids. But right now, the most important thing to her is if she should dye her hair pink or purple. She doesn't know which one yet.
No, that makes sense, yeah. Tyler, how's Colton doing?
I think the word of the night is conflicted. Because Colton, I think more than, maybe other than Adelaide because of her personal connection, Colton feels more personal about helping Lord Sidronis because he understands... Sidron, because he understands what he's dealing with.
Yeah, because Sidron made a deal, didn't he?
He did.
Well, and that deal was with the same entity that you did as well.
He made a deal with the Keeper.
Yeah, and so you know personally exactly what can be lost and how serious that threat is.
When he says his children will die, they will die.
They will die.
And he wants to do everything in his power to help them. But he swore an oath to Breland first. And the death of 2 children would be awful. But he has a job to do. He has a duty to fulfill. And like I said, he died and came back for Breland. He swore an oath. Like, so we don't know. I don't know. Like, it's real, like conflicted. Like, does my duty or my personal feelings toward this, the plight of these people, which comes first? And if we can do both, awesome. But if it comes down to it, I don't know what he's going to choose.
Me neither, but I look forward to finding out. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen who've been watching, thank you so much for catching us for this episode. A lot of planning, a lot of discussion. It's a big role play episode, which is always a fun time. Hey, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and hit that like button, or maybe hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. Tell your friends too. That would be awesome. Woohoo!
Yeah, that button right down there.
Yeah, that button right down there. Either way, hey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you joining us on Basements and Besties, the Dark Lanterns of Sharn, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks for our next episode.
In the morally ambiguous basement.
Yay!
Oh!